Oh no, he didn't.
Girl, yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Welcome to the podcast. Oh no, girl, yes. So happy to have you join us. Make sure if you love listening to us that you do know you can see us having the same conversation on YouTube. Subscribe, like, share, comment, all those good things. All right. Everybody was talking about this. Very rarely will an article from Psychology Today make the social media rounds. This particular one did. The headline, The Rise of Lonely Single Men. Now, I'll tell you why that struck me just by the headline, just by the name of the article. Because lonely and single are usually traits only allotted to women.
Right. No, absolutely. Absolutely.
So it was already eye-catching. What? Lonely single men? I have never heard of such a thing because these lonely single men are always shouting that I'm a lonely single woman. So I didn't know that that was a thing. Interesting. So if you haven't seen the article, I'm going to surmise it just a bit. One of the points was dating opportunities for heterosexual men are diminishing as relationship standards rise. They based some of their findings with the fact that men represent approximately 62% of dating app users, lowering their chances for a match, just saying that because there's more than half of them, it's less women. And then it also says men need to address their skills deficits to meet healthier relationship expectations.
That's the one. That's the one.
Yes, that's the one.
That's the one.
That's the one. Now, I think number one and number three are saying the same thing. Dating opportunities for straight men are diminishing because relationship standards have gone up.
Yes.
And men are at a deficit of the skills that it takes to maintain that expectation or to meet. And so let's talk about it. We've been saying this how many seasons?
We're in the fourth season. But technically, we've been saying this all of our adult lives.
All the time. So welcome Psychology Today.
Glad you caught up.
I'm glad you guys noticed. The dating app number is a little skewed based on both of our assessments. We feel like 62% of men on dating apps do not represent 62% of men that are single.
Yes.
A lot of them are married or in a relationship. So that's a skewed number. We're not going to really go on that one. Okay. Yeah. But as far as our standards, as what we want in a relationship, what we deserve in a relationship, what we desire in a relationship, we know for a fact it has risen from generation to generation to generation.
Correct.
We usually go back to our grandparents. At that time, and of course, their grandparents and their grandparents. But if we just start with our grandparents, who we probably had a relationship with and saw their relationships. I know my grandparents were married for 63 years. My grandma never had a job outside of the home. She had 9 children. That was what she did. And my granddad was the boss of the house. He was the provider of the house. If granddaddy said it, that was the answer. And next, what happens next? A lot of people have the story. I don't have it for my family, but a lot of people have the story of granddaddy had another family on the other side of the tracks, or, granddaddy left for a pack of cigarettes and never came back, or, whatever. And then we had our own parents. My parents got divorced when I was 8. My mom was a single mom for the majority of the time, raising 4 kids, no child support, But again, my mom left that marriage because the standards of the relationship weren't what something she could stay in.
Right.
I don't know that her parents or her great parents or great grandparents would have been able to do it.
Right.
And now we're not even getting in the relationship.
No. Different time. We've been preaching about this for a long time. Our standards have risen as they should. The more educated we become, the more life lessons we, learn as single women. It's inevitable that this article, is inevitable.
And, women are open to talking about our challenges, talking about, whether it's our hyper independence, if it's our challenge, I think a lot of times it's so nuanced, the conversation of why people are single. It's different for each individual.
Yeah.
We're talking about a generalization of men and women. All right. And so if you ask me why I'm single, it's going to be different answer than why you're single and the next one's single, next one's single. But we're just talking about the generalization of what's happening. And I think not only just becoming more educated, but, when society said women couldn't vote, women couldn't own property, women couldn't have a bank account, women couldn't have a credit card, women couldn't do anything, she pretty much had to hitch herself to a man.
There was a need.
It was a need.
Men fought that, as history has shown, just like the civil rights movement, same thing. If we give them power, then we lose our place in society, as opposed to allowing us all to live in harmony.
If we give them equal rights, and you can't give anybody equal rights. I was born with them.
Yeah.
But then that would take away our advantage.
Yes.
And so whether it's men, whether it's racial, anytime somebody is fighting for a human to have the same human rights that every human was born with, it's because I am in fear of losing my advantage. I am in fear of losing my power in a situation. And if you have the same amount of power that I have, then I'm probably going to come up short. And so when women start getting the same amount of power as men start coming up short, because it's like, no, you're not going to just have a maid in your house. You're not going to just come home to a cooked meal and a clean house and well-fed, well-mannered children. No, you're not about to do that.
I think I loved a lot about this article. It wasn't very long. It wasn't very deep.
I knew you had to have loved it because you very rarely send me links. I usually send them to you, and then you read them.
It's usually just the opposite. But when I saw it, I think I sent it to you before I even read it. It was the headline for me. But I noticed it was a man who wrote it, so I really, really appreciated that coming from another man, because we talk about men holding men accountable, and we see that as is missing right now.
Right.
And then the other part was talking about how men, and we've talked about this on the podcast as well, how men tend to benefit from relationships way more than women.
100%.
So you would think, because of that, they would find some ways to get into healthy relationships. Mm-hmm. And if that's not happening, another thing they talked about, how women are seeking out therapy more and more, and men are just stuck in their mental space of, I'm a man, this is how it is, this is how it's always going to be. Where's your growth?
And that's the thing that we have learned as we've gotten older, especially me being older than you, is that, the dating pool of 50 some odd year old men, they're not mature. They're not wise. They're just older. Right. And that's a waste of time if you're not growing and learning. So this is the thing. All of us were raised a certain way, right? Mm-hmm. And as you grow up, you meet friends and you see they were raised a different way, and you meet colleagues and you start curating your life based on things that you like or served you well. And it doesn't mean that's what you were brought up doing. It just means, I was exposed to this and I like this and I want to incorporate this into my life. And it might be something you pass down to your children, whatever. I feel like so many times men are like, this is the way I came out. This is the way I was raised, deal with it. And it's like, yeah, but you should have collected a lot more information to figure out who you're going to be, not just, I was raised this way, right? Because all of us were raised a certain way. And both our moms, we've had them on the podcast before, but always talk about how our generation, we're so much more intentional about what we're doing, how we're doing it, how much time we're spending doing it, where intention wasn't even a concept when they were growing up and getting married and having kids. Correct. They just did what you do. And so now that overwhelmingly society is still saying, oh yeah, you grow up and get married, doesn't matter if you like them. No, grow up, get married, have kids. It don't matter if the kids are healthy or taken care of, or if you want them, or if they're just pawns, or you're just trying to heal your childhood trauma, just do it. Like, why haven't you done it? Everybody does it. Why haven't you done it? Now more women specifically are saying, I don't think I want to do that. Part of it is fear of failure. Part of it is, for me, I think it's a combination. I'm not having a bad time.
That's the thing. And that goes back to the benefit of relationships for men and women. There's an unequal balance of benefits. You know what I mean? Right. When it comes, we can live our best life. If anything, we give up a lot to be in a relationship.
We give up a whole lot to be in a relationship.
Look at Serena Williams this past week. I mean, that's just the curse of being a woman.
Right. You're not going to be able to pursue everything at the same level once you start having babies. Physically, you are a different person. So, all your cells and DNA have changed once you have created a human. Right. That doesn't happen to the man. So he can keep going and chasing and hunting and gathering. Your hormones, your energy, your interest, your focus has changed. And so all of it does not benefit the woman the most. Now, a lot of women want to be mothers. There's a miracle. a lot of women see marriage or partnership as a vehicle to fulfill that dream of having a child or having children. Right. But honestly, you know, I saw Tracy Ellis Ross say in a recent interview with Kevin Hart, and she said, you know, when I am presented with a relationship that would be better than the life I have now, I'll look into it. But I'm having a great life. So
and so
is not what I think I'm missing. Right. You know, I'm missing money.
Right. What this article is saying is the opposite is true for men. They are not having great lives, and we see it playing out on the internet, in the Kevin Samuel followers, and all of that. I'm saying it. Y'all
she said it. She called
y'all are lonely, and y'all are lonely. Y'all are sad. Nobody will adjust their life to fit your narrative instead of you making yourself a better person.
Make yourself somebody would want to be with. I mean, it's not that deep.
It's really not.
I was recently telling you, I just met a nice guy. I'm still retired from dating. I'm not dating, but in all the things that he's nice and great and wonderful, it would be a challenge for me to think of altering or lowering my vibration to try to partner with him. And I think he sounds like a great guy. I've even said, hey, I should introduce him to my friend, you know, because I'm in a space where I'm having a great time with me and I love my life. Now, a lot of the men that are shouting at the women on the internet or threatening women with a good time, it is a very different place. And this is just basic. Let me just say basic. This is not my unique personal experience, but basic information of what's normal. And we're still talking in generalizations. Okay, a woman can be by herself. She has friends, she has family, she has coworkers, she has hobbies, she has businesses, she has school, she has all this stuff that self-care, all the things she loves doing because she has hobbies and interests, and she's been cultivating things out of life. Okay. And then a man, he goes to work and then he might hang out with his boys. As far as a female component, a lot of times men have a hard time not having it at all times. And that's why even when they have a girlfriend, there's 3 or 4 other girls they still got to be engaging with because they're needing this outside validation at all times. I can be pregnant with your baby and be in the hospital. You're going to have to be texting another woman because even in this moment, you are still needing that validation and constant focus and attention on you. And a lot of men find that when they get married and they have children, they're no longer their wife's focus. It's like, I got to keep these humans alive. Like, I need you to get over there and help me with that. And they just have a harder time, it seems, or choosing not to evolve into what is next for you as a person. What is next for you as a human? It can't just be, ooh, you cute, you got a big booty, I want to have sex with you. I mean, that's a start. But I mean, then what? Then what happens after that? So I feel like when men threaten women with being lonely, it's their greatest fear that they're projecting onto you.
Absolutely.
We're like, now when am I going to be, but when would I ever be single and lonely though, y'all?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's your fear. And the nurses in hospice care or health systems will tell you, these old men be up in here by themselves. Ain't nobody coming to see about them. So either they don't have a bride, they don't have a companion, or even their own children don't care because they was a deadbeat dad. They didn't even look after their kids. And there's a lot of people who have kids because they say, well, who gonna take care of me when I get older? But that's not a lock. That's not guaranteed that that's gonna work out that way. Okay. Right. So I thought the article was intriguing. It was interesting to see it travel around the internet and people's comments. A lot of men, I guess, doubled down on their stupidity and fought back and says, oh, when they say relationship standards, now they want you to pay for everything. And I saw so many women saying, y'all not reading what the article said.
At all.
We literally don't.
Not mention finances at all.
We don't need your money.
Not
once.
Because I don't need your money.
An older man without money is worried about you needing his money.
It be the men that don't have money.
And they're the ones that's threatening you with dying alone by yourself with your cats. And you don't even have to have cats for them to threaten you with them. I just wanted to point that out. And cats in the meanwhile is like, what did I do?
What did I do? Are you
like,
drag me into this?
Why is y'all always bringing me into this?
And who are financially challenged, because that be the loudest ones on the internet.
Loud.
Hey, stop worrying about. Ain't nobody trying to take your little $2. Ain't nobody trying to take it. Seriously.
If you look at all the data, the reason you mad at me for being a man is because I'm earning and providing more than you probably. And now you talking about, oh, well, we need to be 50-50 on the bills and she need to be submissive. It's like, it's weird. And I saw where it might have been Iman Schubert who said, listen, a man with money ain't worried about paying a woman's bills. He ain't looking for no woman who can pay her own bills. Like, what are we even talking about? That's nothing. What are her bills? Her cell phone? Her condo? What are we talking about? And so these broke, lonely men then yell on the internet, even when you have scientific research presented in psychology today. And
Yes.
this is our findings,
Yeah.
guys. You might want to get some therapy and learn how to communicate and learn how to be a better partner so someone might want you.
Mm-hmm.
Because at this point, they're not going to just accept you as is. That is what research has shown is these women ain't desperate for you just coming out the box as is.
So get over yourselves. Stop being angry and just be better.
That's a t-shirt. Get over yourself. Stop being angry. Just be better. Yeah, dang. Just be better though.
Oh my God.
That's what's so crazy. We want to be with you. Right. We at the end of it, we are created for companionship. We are created to want to be partnered. Right. We are better together. We are. Literally will not get with you just cause. I will be by myself to the end of days. Be clear. But I'm designed to want you. Yeah. You working hard to go against nature, and then I don't even want you. You've had to do so much work to make me not want you, because the natural inclination would be that I would want you. And I don't. And when I see you coming my way, I say, no. I'm having a good time. I'm having a good time in my life. Do not mess this up by being no man. Don't. Please. That's all. So what do y'all think? Did you agree with the article? Has it been your experience? For the men that listen, we would really love your comments. Did you feel seen, or did you feel it? Comment. Man, please comment. We want to know. Because the headline said the rise of lonely single men. And I'm telling you, historically, men will work really hard. And let me also point this out too. Men will usually always have a woman. Does not mean he's not lonely. Correct. A man will always be trying to have sex with a woman. Don't mean he's ever experienced intimacy. And so a lot of times, because men do not have the emotional intelligence or bandwidth to even put words and names to feelings and thoughts, they just be out here doing whatever, trying to feel something. And it still ain't never happening. At all. At all. So be clear. Therapy is needed. Damn near required at this point. Yeah. To work. Read some books. It takes some self-reflection. And through this whole process of our podcast, we have started even episodes one way and have ended in a different space, a thought of mine, let alone the whole series. But it's the power of self-reflection and the power of communication and being open and being honest and being transparent. Accountability, being accountable to say, you know what, I kind of messed that up. I try to make sure I check my girlfriends. I have a girlfriend who just reconnected with a guy, and I'm very anti-man, and everyone knows that. But she's the problem in this reconnection, because I'm like, you send up all these obstacle courses for this dude. It ain't that deep. Like, you know, you don't have to try to make it hard to prove that, see, I told you were going to leave. Like, make it a place he want to stay. And then at the same time, I will say men are literal trash every day. But if you get one, be nice to him. If he's nice to you. If he's not nice to you, he don't need to be there. That's it. Right. That's the thing now. If you got a man, be kind, be sweet. But if he ain't kind of sweet to you, he ain't got to be there. That's the final word. Take the trash out, baby. All right. Love to hear comments. You can always do that on YouTube so we can communicate, connect with the community. And until next time. Oh, no, he didn't. Girl, yes, he did.